Some women are not living in obvious chaos. From the outside, their homes may even look fairly calm. Meals happen, schedules get remembered. The emotional tone rarely gets completely out of control. Things somehow keep moving. But what nobody really talks about is how much of that calm exists. Because one woman is constantly stepping in before problems fully show themselves. She is the one who notices what was forgotten before anyone else realizes it matters. She is the one who feels the tension in the room before anyone names it. She is the one who remembers the thing, smooths the moment, sends the text, checks the detail, prepares for the reaction, and carries the pressure in advance. It does not always look dramatic. That is exactly why it is so easy to normalize. A woman can live like this for years and never say, "I'm compensating for everyone." She usually says something softer. "I'm just helping. I just like things handled. I don't want unnecessary stress. It's easier if I do it." But over time, what started as helping can quietly become a role. And that role is expensive. You see it in the little moments. She finally sits down, and her mind is still running through what is missing. She tries to rest, but part of her is still listening for what somebody forgot, what mood is shifting, what might need her next. She is physically present in the room, but inwardly she is still on duty. That is not simple busyness. That is a nervous system that has gotten too used to carrying what should have stayed distributed. The hard part is that capable women often get praised while they are being drained. People call them strong, reliable, thoughtful, grounded, and maybe they are. But those words can hide the truth if nobody asks what that strength is costing her. A woman can look dependable while quietly living in a constant state of internal overuse. So this is not just about being tired. This is about becoming the person who compensates for too much, for too long. This is about the woman who has become the extra memory, the extra emotional steadiness, the extra follow-through, the extra cushion, the extra maturity in the room. And this is about why that role may feel responsible on the surface, while damaging everyone underneath. There is a difference between helping and overfunctioning. Helping responds to a real need without erasing the responsibility of the other person. Overfunctioning steps in so consistently that it begins to replace what other people should have been developing in themselves. That is why it feels so useful at first and so draining later. A woman who overfunctions often does not realize she crossed that line. She just knows she is the one who catches what falls. If someone forgets, she remembers. If someone gets overwhelmed, she steadies the mood. If something is about to become inconvenient, she handles it before it lands. If there is emotional awkwardness, she softens it. If there is a practical gap, she fills it. And because she does it early, quietly, and well, people get used to not seeing the actual cost. This pattern often hides inside competence. The more capable she is, the less visible her overuse becomes. People do not see the mental tabs still open in her head. They do not see how much inner energy it takes to keep anticipating, adjusting, and buffering. They just experience the benefit of living near a woman who keeps too many things from becoming their problem. You can usually spot this pattern by what happens when she tries to stop. If she rests and instantly feels guilty, something is off. If she pauses and immediately starts mentally compensating for what everyone else might not do, something is off. If she feels more responsible for the emotional climate than the people creating it, something is off. If her mind never fully lands because she has become everyone's backup system, something is off. And let's be mature about this. Not every act of service is overfunctioning. Not every strong woman is trapped in this pattern. Not every family imbalance is extreme. But repeated compensation matters. Chronic anticipation matters. Silent extra weight matters. The issue is not one isolated act. The issue is the pattern that keeps one woman carrying more than her share, while others slowly adapt to that as normal. That is why naming the pattern matters so much. Because once a woman realizes, this is not just love, this is overfunctioning, she can start reading her life more honestly. And honest reading is the beginning of change. If this is landing hard, comment, "I was overfunctioning." Sometimes healing begins when a woman stops calling it just helping and finally names what has really been happening. One of the hardest truths here is that people adapt very quickly to the woman who compensates. If she remembers everything, others get more relaxed about remembering. If she follows through, others get less urgent about follow-through. If she manages the emotional temperature of the home, others feel less pressure to grow in emotional steadiness. The family may not sit down and choose that consciously, but systems adapt to what keeps working. That is why this pattern is not only personal, it becomes systemic. Her overfunctioning changes the behavior of the people around her. What she keeps catching, others stop learning to carry. What she keeps smoothing, others stop learning to repair. What she keeps anticipating, others stop learning to notice. Her extra effort becomes the hidden support beam under everyone else's lower level of responsibility. This is part of why she gets so tired without always knowing how to explain it. She is not just doing her part, she is doing her part plus the invisible percentage that has drifted toward her over time. And because that drift happens slowly, it feels hard to challenge. It can even feel cruel to challenge, because by the time she notices it, the family has already organized itself around her extra capacity. A lot of women think the only problem is exhaustion, but the deeper problem is what her overfunctioning has made unnecessary for other people. If she is always the one thinking ahead, others do not need to. If she is always the one restoring peace, others do not feel the full weight of what their moods do to a room. If she is always the one preventing consequences, others stay protected from the pressure that might have made them grow. That does not mean she meant to create this. It does not mean everyone around her is malicious. It means patterns have consequences. And once a woman sees that her extra functioning has quietly trained other people to function less, she begins to understand why being the strong one has felt so lonely. So the issue is no longer just, why am I so tired? The issue becomes, what has everybody else gotten used to not carrying because I kept carrying it first? That question is uncomfortable, but it brings real clarity. For many women, this pattern did not begin in marriage, motherhood, or adulthood. It began much earlier. It began when being easy, useful, calm, self-controlled, and emotionally aware felt safer than being fully honest about what they needed. A girl who learns early to manage herself tightly often grows into a woman who manages everything around her too. Maybe she was praised for being mature. Maybe she was the one who did not make things harder. Maybe she knew how to read a room very young. Maybe she learned that keeping things stable earned approval. Maybe she learned that the quickest way to be good was to reduce her own mess, her own need, her own impact on the environment. None of that disappears just because she gets older. That is why this issue has so much emotional grip. She is not only fighting a family habit, she is often confronting an old identity. The woman who overfunctions is frequently the girl who learned that being useful felt safer than being needy, and being composed felt safer than being honest. So when she starts changing, the change can feel deeper than practical. It can feel like she is becoming a different person. That is also why guilt rises so quickly. She may intellectually understand boundaries, but emotionally, she still feels the pull of that old training. If she does not step in, she feels like she is failing. If she does not smooth things over, she feels irresponsible. If she lets another adult sit with the consequence of their own lack of follow-through, she may feel mean even when she is being appropriate. So yes, this is about the family now. But it is also about what shaped her long before this house, this partner, these children, or this stage of life. Understanding that does not make her weak. It makes her honest. And honesty matters because women do not truly change by shaming themselves. They change by seeing the pattern clearly enough to stop confusing it with virtue. What she may have called strength for years may have included a lot of adaptation. An adaptation that once helped her survive emotionally can become the very thing that keeps draining her now. A lot of women in this pattern know something is wrong long before they have language for it. Their body says it first. They become more easily irritated. They feel tired in a way that rest does not fully solve. They struggle to be mentally present. They feel strangely tense even in quiet moments. Sometimes they cry over something small and know the reaction is bigger than the moment itself. It usually is. That is what happens when a woman spends too much of her life compensating. Her body starts carrying the pressure of being the extra layer in everyone else's functioning. It is not only the task, it is the anticipation, the watching, the tracking, the emotional buffering, the internal readiness, the sense that if she drops the ball, too much else will drop with it. You see it at the end of the day. She is exhausted but not settled. She sits, but she does not really come down. She lies in bed, but part of her is still reviewing, remembering, anticipating, and pre-solving. Her body may be still, but her mind is still finishing work no one ever formally assigned her. That kind of fatigue is not just physical, it is cumulative internal labor. You also see it in resentment, not always loud resentment. Sometimes it shows up as being shorter than she wants to be. Sometimes it looks like shutting down emotionally. Sometimes it feels like wanting everyone to leave her alone for a while and then feeling guilty for wanting that. She may tell herself she's becoming hard, but often she is simply becoming overused. Spiritually, it can do damage too. When a woman lives in chronic compensation mode, it becomes harder to experience real inward rest. She may still believe, still pray, still love God, but internally, she may be running on pressure so often that stillness feels foreign. Peace begins to feel like something theoretical rather than embodied. That matters more than many women realize. This is why the problem cannot be reduced to, you need better self-care. She may need rest, yes, but she also needs truth. She needs to see what her body has been trying to tell her. You were never built to be the extra function for everyone else all the time. People learn from the role a woman occupies in a home. They learn from repetition. They learn from what gets normalized. So when one woman becomes the steady compensator in the family that teaches everyone something, even if no one says it out loud, a daughter watching this may quietly absorb the idea that love means overextending yourself. She may learn that a good woman is the one who anticipates, manages, adjusts, and keeps going. She may learn that her own needs should stay in the background while she becomes emotionally impressive, useful, and endlessly capable. That is a painful lesson if it goes unchallenged. A son watching this may learn something just as unhealthy. He may grow up assuming that somewhere nearby there will always be a woman who notices what he does not, carries what he drops, regulates the room, and quietly absorbs what he fails to address. Not because anyone taught him that in words, but because the family rhythm kept showing it to him as normal. This is why a woman changing her role is not only self-protection, it is instruction. It teaches that adults are supposed to carry adult weight. It teaches that emotional steadiness is not one woman's unpaid assignment. It teaches that peace should not depend on one person staying overextended. It teaches that care can exist without one person becoming the infrastructure for everyone else's growth delays. Again, nuance matters. This does not mean every family where a woman is competent is automatically unhealthy. It does not mean every imbalance is extreme, but repeated patterns teach. And women often underestimate how much they are teaching with what they silently tolerate and consistently absorb. So part of the question becomes, what is your current role teaching the people who live closest to you? If the answer is that it teaches them to expect your extra functioning, then change is not just allowed, it is necessary. If this channel is helping you understand patterns you have lived with for years but never had words for, subscribe now. This is the kind of place where women learn how to recognize hidden emotional dynamics, protect their peace, and live with more truth. One of the biggest reasons women stay stuck in this pattern is guilt. The moment she stops compensating, she often feels bad before she feels free. She feels selfish. She feels lazy. She feels unkind. She feels like she is creating tension. She feels like she is letting things fall apart. But guilt is not always a sign that she is doing something wrong. Sometimes it is just the emotional alarm that goes off when an old role starts breaking. That old role may have been with her for years, the one who keeps things moving, the one who makes up the difference, the one who notices before others notice, the one who rescues quietly, the one who helps everybody function around her. So when she tries to stop, the guilt rises fast because the role feels morally familiar. It feels like the good version of her. And that is what makes this so confusing. The guilt does not usually come with obviously destructive thoughts. It often sounds reasonable. It's easier if I do it. I don't want to make this a big thing. They're overwhelmed too. Maybe I'm being too harsh. It'll only take me a minute. Those thoughts feel soft and moral, but they often carry her right back into the pattern that is draining her. That is why a woman needs discernment, not just feelings. She needs to ask, is this guilt because I am actually doing something wrong? Or is this guilt because I am no longer doing what everyone got used to? Those are not the same thing. And if she never learns to tell the difference, she will keep abandoning herself in the name of peace. Many women are not afraid of boundaries in theory. They are afraid of what they will feel after setting one. They are afraid of the discomfort, the misunderstanding, the shift in atmosphere, the possibility that someone will be disappointed. But disappointment is not always damage. Sometimes it is just what happens when other people lose access to a version of you that was over-serving them. So yes, the guilt is real, but real does not automatically mean true. Sometimes guilt is just the emotional aftershock of leaving a role that looked loving but cost too much. Change usually begins in small, ordinary moments. It does not start with a dramatic speech. It starts when she notices the urge to step in and pauses long enough to ask whether this is actually hers to carry. That pause matters. Without it, everything stays automatic. Maybe another adult forgot something. She notices the urge to fix it before it becomes inconvenient. The pause asks, "Do I need to save this?" Maybe the room gets tense. She notices the urge to smooth it immediately. The pause asks, "Am I responsible for everybody's emotional regulation right now?" Maybe something was left undone. She notices the urge to finish it quietly. The pause asks, "If I keep doing this, what am I teaching?" Then comes language. Clear, calm, adult language. "That's yours to handle. I'm not taking that on. You'll need to remember that. I'm not going to manage this for everyone. I need rest tonight. I'm not available for that right now." These are not cold sentences. They are clarifying sentences. A healthy family needs more of them. And then comes the hardest part, not undoing the boundary through quiet rescue. Because many women say the right words and then later compensate anyway. They feel the discomfort, see the gap, and step back in. But if she names the responsibility and still takes it back, the system learns that her language changed, not her role. This also means accepting some temporary mess. When a woman stops compensating, certain things may become more visible for a while. Some people may be slower than she would be. Some outcomes may be less polished. Some awkwardness may surface. That does not automatically mean she should return to overfunctioning. Sometimes visible imperfection is the first honest stage of a healthier system. Practical change is not about becoming passive. It is about becoming appropriate. It is about doing what is yours and refusing what is not. That sounds simple. It rarely feels simple. But it is how a woman slowly stops living as the extra function inside everyone else's life. Some women stay trapped because they think the only alternative to overfunctioning is hardness. They imagine that if they stop compensating, they will turn into someone sharp, distant, selfish, or emotionally unavailable. But that is a false choice. A woman can be loving and still stop overcarrying. She can be warm and still be clear. She can be kind and still refuse to be the hidden backup system for the whole family. That is why tone matters. A woman does not need to become dramatic to become honest. She does not need to explain herself endlessly either. She needs steadiness. She needs to know what is hers and what is not. She needs to say less, mean it more, and stop rescuing other adults from responsibilities they are capable of holding. She also needs to expect some pushback. Not every reaction to her change will be fair. Some people benefited from her overfunctioning so much that her health will feel inconvenient to them at first. That does not mean she is wrong. It means change exposes dependency, and dependency often complains before it learns. Part of maturity is tolerating that moment without running back to the old role, without rushing to prove she is still loving, without over-explaining, and without turning every boundary into a long, emotional defense. Quiet consistency does more than 100 speeches. If she keeps returning weight to the right place, the system begins to understand that she is not available in the old way anymore. And she needs God in that process, not as a slogan, not as decoration. She needs real wisdom, because sometimes the hardest part is not knowing what to do. It is staying steady after doing it. She needs the kind of peace that lets her disappoint unhealthy expectations without feeling morally destroyed by it. A woman does not become less loving when she stops doing too much. She becomes more truthful. And truthful love is far more healing than exhausted compliance. At the end of the day, this is not about becoming detached from people. It is about refusing to keep loving in a way that quietly weakens everyone. Overfunctioning can look generous, but when it becomes chronic, it often protects other people from growth while pushing one woman toward depletion. That is not the kind of love a healthy family should be built on. A healthier kind of love still helps. It still shows up. It still serves. It still cares. But it does not erase adulthood in others. It does not quietly take over what belongs to capable people. It does not constantly prevent discomfort, consequences, or responsibility from reaching the people who need to mature. It is a wiser kind of love, a stronger kind, a truer one. That is why Galatians 6:5 matters here. For each will have to bear his own load. That verse does not erase compassion. It protects order. It reminds us that love does not require carrying what God did not assign to us. It reminds us that there is a difference between support and substitution. Many women have been substituting for too much and calling it care. So if you have been wondering why you feel so tired, so mentally busy, so guilty while resting, so strangely responsible for everything, maybe this is part of the answer. You were not just helping. You were compensating. You were overfunctioning. You were carrying extra weight so consistently that everyone else got used to your strength and stopped noticing your cost. But that does not have to stay your role. A woman can step out of silent compensation without stepping out of love. She can stop doing too much without becoming hard. She can stop acting like the extra function in the family and still be deeply caring, deeply faithful, and deeply good. In fact, that may be the beginning of the most honest version of her love yet. And maybe this is the sentence that belongs to you now. I was overfunctioning, not just helping. That sentence is not condemnation. It is clarity. And clarity gives a woman somewhere real to begin. If this spoke to you, comment, I was overfunctioning. And tell me this too. What is one thing you know you need to stop compensating for? And if you know a woman who has been carrying more than anyone around her really sees, share this video with her today. It may help her name a pattern she has been living for years without fully understanding it.